I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with affirmations. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like them and they work, but not consistently. Do you know what I mean? So, like for me, I first started using affirmations as a way to reprogram my subconscious mind through repetition so that I could manifest things a lot easier. And you've probably done the same thing. You've probably used affirmations like for a similar reason. You realize that you've got maybe some subconscious programming that needs to change so that you can replace all that stuff, redundant beliefs and that sort of thing that you accumulated since childhood that are no longer relevant for you, and replace them with something that's really supportive and aligned with where you want to head now in life. So, do they work? Like, do affirmations really work this way? And like, have yours worked out that way? They might not have. And have you really, like, repeating affirmations every day as a way to reprogram your subconscious mind, have you really replaced and gotten rid of the old limiting beliefs, the ones that have sabotaged you? Probably not, you know? And the way that most people use affirmations doesn't do anything to clear the negative beliefs. The existing stuff that's there does nothing to change that. Instead, what you're doing is creating new beliefs about the same topic that become in conflict with these old beliefs that you have. So both are still there. You end up holding two polarizing views about what's possible for you to achieve in the world. So they both play out, like you experience both of them because you've created things that way. So this is why you can start getting inconsistent results. You can achieve some things really easily sometimes, but not all the time in different areas of your life. And it's a little bit like driving a car with one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. And you cannot drive a car that way. So if you have limiting beliefs that are in place, that are in conflict with the new way that you want to view the world, you're stopping yourself from experiencing the results of those beliefs, those affirmations to its fullest. So, and I've noticed though that there are a few tweaks and a few refinements that you can make to supercharge your affirmations and get them to be a little bit more effective on their own. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. I'm going to help you look at your reactions to things and how you can actually be making a situation worse for yourself. Affirmations can kind of be counterproductive in some ways. We're going to be taking a look at that. And also, what you can do, you can start doing this today actually, what you can do to make your affirmations and this new belief you're trying to imprint in your subconscious mind, make them dominant. So that, regardless if you have limiting beliefs or not, these new perspectives that you're implanting in your mind become dominant, which is nice. And I'm also going to be taking a look at how you can clear limiting beliefs once and for all, get them out of the way, take your foot off the brake and just go for it in life, because that's really important. And if you want some training on that too, I'm going to be giving you some details for a foundational alchemy session that I'm running. It's a training session as part of the Metaphysical Edge live stream that I host every month. It's training for that coming up, and that's going to take you through how you can clear limiting beliefs for good. So check that out. Welcome to Unmasking the Magic, where the mystical meets the practical and fuels your success. I'm your host, Sharon Atkinson, and I'll be your metaphysical maverick on this journey, where every week we'll pull back the curtain to reveal how concepts such as intuition, manifestation, and the quantum field, and pretty much everything else otherworldly, can help empower you to reach new levels of success, meaning, and fulfillment in business, career, and life. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and empowered, and let's unmask the magic together. Dr. Joseph Murphy once said that affirmations can make a problem a lot worse before it gets any better. And what does he mean by that exactly? Because I'll tell you why. Because when you say an affirmation, sometimes there is a little voice deep within you that pipes up and says, that's not true. Whatever it is that you're trying to affirm for yourself, a doubt, like your reflex reaction is doubt, and it'll go, it's not true. It's a feeling that comes up straight away. Have you noticed this? Like for yourself? Like honestly, just that first reaction that comes through. You might be saying an affirmation like, I'm a millionaire. And this little voice within you goes, no, you're not. There's something within you that comes up. And this is a problem because that feeling that comes up and says, well, you're not a millionaire, is actually highlighting the lack and the absence of what you're trying to affirm for yourself. It's highlighting the gap. It's highlighting how far removed you are from that in your life. So it can actually throw you into scarcity, which is not what you want at all. You're actually trying to achieve the opposite. So I know for myself, like the first affirmation that I ever used had to do with money. And at the time, I was working as a business banker. And I was also, like at the time, I was studying with Bob Proctor about manifestation and the 11 laws of attraction. And this was just after The Secret came out. So about, I don't know, maybe about 17 years ago, something like this. And affirmations weren't part of the 11 laws of attraction, by the way. But I had heard that it was a really great way to help rewire your subconscious mind to make manifestation, what you want to achieve, a lot easier to come to fruition. So I was all in. I'm like, okay, Bob, I'm going to give this a go. Because Bob had thrown out this really interesting concept too, which was that through like using these 11 laws of attraction, that you could easily make your annual salary your monthly salary. So I'm going to give this a red hot crack because I really like the idea of that. That's going to work for me. And so I created this affirmation to fast track this process and use it in addition to the 11 laws of attraction. So I was all in. I'm like, okay, have a red hot crack. So I created this affirmation for myself, and it was, I receive $100,000 per month. I used to receive $100,000 per year, but now I receive $100,000 per month. That was my affirmation, something like that anyway. Very, very basic, very kind of, I want to manifest this, turning my annual salary into a monthly income for myself. So that's how I thought that I could do that. But this little voice inside me pipes up and it's like, you don't earn $100,000 per month. And my logic stepped in too. It's like, you know what? You work for a bank and there's no way in the world that they are going to pay you $100,000 a month. It's just not going to happen. Where do you think this money is going to come from? And you probably notice this with yourself. Like you say an affirmation and these doubts come up as you're saying it, and your logical mind comes in and it tells you why it's not really possible. And you can talk yourself out of it and say it's none of your business about how the universe is going to bring this to you. But your initial reaction is what Dr. Joseph Murphy is talking about. It can make it a lot worse before it gets any better. So, like for me, like it really highlighted, like, this is not possible. This is not possible for you to have $100,000 per month as an income. You work in a bank. And there's all these reasons why it's never going to happen. So what that does is highlight the lack of $100,000 per month. It's a very big reality, like per annum, but per month, nowhere close to being anywhere near my reality. And that's the problem that Dr. Joseph Murphy is kind of talking about. So what do, right? So you have the reason that this gap and that lack comes into it is because you have so many stories and so many examples in your life about why it's not true. So like for me personally, It didn't fit any of my existing circumstances. Nothing I did on a daily basis was in alignment with $100,000 per month. Nothing at all. Nothing whatsoever. But what would make that original affirmation a lot more powerful would be to just tweak it a little bit so there was more relatable to my existing situation. So, and I thought about how I could do this. So, if some of you want to turn your annual salary into a monthly salary, then give this a go. So, if I tweak that first affirmation that I had of I make $100,000 per month, if I change that just a little bit to I make $100,000 per year, that's true. And I also receive that amount every month from sources I do not expect. Then that feels more possible because I don't expect it, obviously, because nothing in my life supports it. I'm still making 100 grand a year. And as a bonus, I get $100,000 per month from all these unknown places to me. That's up to the universe, none of my business, you know? But that's a really easy way to tweak a affirmation to make it more relevant. If it's not relevant, you have too many reasons why it can't fit into your life, it's not going to. It's going to highlight the gap and it's going to highlight the absence of what you're trying to affirm rather than allowing it to drop into your mind and your subconscious so that you can experience these amazing things that you're trying to create for yourself. So, how can you make your affirmations and the new supportive beliefs that you're creating, how can you make them dominant over limiting beliefs that you have? That is a fantastic question. And you can do it. And I'm going to ask you some questions to help you with this section a little bit. So maybe pause podcast, go and get a pen and a piece of paper if you wish, because this is going to be insightful for you. So, okay, we're going to stick with this money theme that I've kind of started the podcast with today, because why not? And okay, so let me ask you this. What is your current money situation? And just notice like what comes up immediately for you, good or bad, whatever it is. Just notice what your reaction is. You might have a really good financial situation. You know, you could probably do with a little bit of extra cash. But for the most part, like it's pretty good. Whatever's kind of going on, just go with whatever comes up. What is your current money situation like? And then my next question for you is, why do you think that? What makes you say that about your current financial situation? And what examples are kind of popping up for you in your life about why this is the case? Why is it so? This just reminded me of a commercial from the 80s. In Australia, we had this Cadbury commercial, Cadbury chocolate commercial. I'm just deviating so much right now. Oh, why is it so? He was like a scientist, and he used to do this chocolate commercial for Cadbury's, and he would have an egg in a bottle. The egg would start at the top of the bottle, and then I don't know what happened. There's some sort of fire inside the bottle, and the egg would be sucked in. Anyway, glass and a half full cream dairy milk, that sort of thing. I have no idea where this is going off, but anyway, maybe we're being scientists today. Or maybe if you're watching this video and this podcast, then you might be eating some Cadbury chocolate. Let me know. I could be tuning into you. Who knows? Okay. So this money situation that came up for you, what do you notice? Why do you think that? That your money situation is what it is at the moment? So what you've actually done, I'll tell you, what you've actually done with this. So all these examples and the reasons why you believe your money situation is what it is, they're all the examples and the stories that you've told yourself about why it's true, and they actually roll up into a belief. So you believe your money situation, and it is supported by the weight of a whole bunch of different stories and opinions and things that have played out in your life that make it true. So my job as a business banker, I earn over six figures, and I got a salary. I got paid every fortnight. This was my banker reality. A lot of examples for myself that I collected about getting paid fortnightly. Like I saw this money hit my bank account every fortnight, and I would say things to myself like, when I get paid, I'm going to X, Y, Z. I'm going to go out with my friends on this night. I'm going to go away for the weekend because I'm getting paid. You build routines around things like a pay cycle, for example, like I did. And a lot of your actions will support something that's playing out, getting paid fortnightly. That was my belief. I get paid fortnightly. I make 100 grand a year. I get paid fortnightly. And all your actions back it up. And but it goes beyond that too, like going away for the weekend. But things like scheduling bank transfers, like to save money between accounts and that sort of thing. And it might have been like scheduling direct debit payments, all that sort of stuff. They align with pay cycles. So a lot of actions in your life support a belief that you have about something so simple like you get paid fortnightly. You have to wait till you get paid before you can go away for the weekend or save money or whatever it is. You're waiting for payday. And you make that so true that it shows up in multiple areas of your life. So throwing out an affirmation like, now my annual salary is monthly salary, is just, I know for me anyway, so far removed from being true. If that was anywhere like close to being true for me, then I imagine that I wouldn't have been as diligent with my money 17 years ago. I imagine that I would have been a little bit more just in the moment. I can do whatever I want when I want to do it. Money's no object. Who cares? I'm going away. I'm taking time off work. Even if I didn't have any annual leave, I'd be taking time off work because I felt like it. If I wanted to go away, what's stopping me? I know that's how I would be anyway. I feel like going away, I'm going. So, but nothing, it didn't align for me. Like nothing about my life kind of was in that vibe. I was waiting for payday all the time, you know. So I had no examples that told a different story at all. So what I would really encourage you to do to make your affirmations stick and become dominant and have a little bit more weight in your subconscious mind is to find examples in your existing day that support why this affirmation is already true. And like this is a little bit fun. You get to be creative with this if you want to be. You can be very practical with it too. But anything that you do, anything you choose to give meaning to is relevant for you. So you can associate everyday activities as reasons why your affirmations are true. It's very obscure in some situations, but you need to put things in the right context a little bit too. Like you can't just brush your teeth and go, it's a little bit like anchoring, I suppose. Like you can't just anchor in an affirmation and with the act of brushing your teeth. Like you need to put it in the right context for this to kind of work for you as well. So like, for example, if you have an affirmation that you receive income from multiple sources every day, if you repeat that affirmation, you'll start to see some evidence of it. It's just not going to stick around for long. Like it'll kind of be a little bit fleeting. But as soon as you see it, as soon as you notice it, the result of this affirmation showing up in your life, cool, it works. This affirmation works, right? So when that happens, tie it to something that you did that day. And it could be brushing your teeth. It could be something really obscure like that. Like, it doesn't really matter what you choose, as long as you put it within the right context. And this is doing this, you kind of get to play with cause and effect a little bit. And it is a little bit like a scientist. Like in the Cadbury commercial with the egg, but you get to play with cause and effect. So, and you can evolve your affirmations to be a little bit more meaningful and specific and give them a little bit more weight so that they stick and they drop into your subconscious. And the way that they become dominant is the amount of stories that you're collecting. So you can tweak your affirmation again, and you can tweak it to something like, I brushed my teeth and received income from multiple sources today. Because that becomes a fact. You did brush your teeth and you did receive multiple income from multiple sources that day. You're linking them together. And then you might even start to wonder, like wondering and contemplating are really great ways to bring more experiences of the same thing into your life. You might start to wonder and contemplate, if I wonder if I brush my teeth tomorrow, if I will receive income from multiple sources then as well. Maybe that's just what happens now. I want to find out, throw it out there. And that's a form of affirmation. Maybe that will happen. But you'll notice when it does, you can go, wow, you know what? This is true. I brush my teeth and I receive money from multiple sources every day now. How cool is this? And then you'll start to build up like a bank of evidence for this affirmation of, I receive money from multiple sources every day. And you've got a lot of evidence and a lot of stories about how when you brush your teeth, that's true. And then you've got all these different stories that back that up. So putting it in context and tying it to things that you're doing during the day, give it a lot of weight. And you might be thinking, like, I don't know, I probably would be too, like, Sharon, seriously, like, there's no way that this is going to work. And I can tell you wholeheartedly that it does, because I have this really obscure belief that every time I go shopping, I get something for free. And this plays out big purchases, small purchases, when I go to the supermarket, when I go to the pharmacy, doesn't matter where I go. If the person who is serving me or the person in the store has a generosity, like, you kind of need to be matched to other people too. Like, if they're a generous person and we kind of connect, and I've got that energy of I receive free things and they're a generous person, I'm going to receive something. So that's really cool. The world is full of very generous people, and I'm very fortunate to receive discounts and free stuff all the time. Doesn't really matter what it is. And it works online now too. So I tweaked my affirmation. Every time I go shopping, I get something for free. This plays out all the time. It has been working for me for more than 20 years. And so every time I do get a discount, I reaffirm my affirmation. Every time I go shopping, I get something for free. I collect evidence. And over that 20-year period, I have got so much evidence. And originally it was just in store, like it happened in store. But I evolved this affirmation to apply it to online shopping as well. And so that's what happens. I buy stuff online, and there might be like a free gift that's included, or a discount, or just free stuff. I've got an extra tops, extra products, sample stuff that I'm not expecting. Might be a discount, and might be free delivery. Like, the free thing, the discounts, free stuff applies in all situations for me when it comes to shopping. So it's really good. So you can do that. You can tweak an affirmation and make it relevant in multiple areas of your life based on the evidence that you're collecting and the context that you choose to put it in. Like, you give meaning to everything that's happening in your life. You choose what stuff means. Make it worthwhile. Make it relate to an affirmation, and you will give it so much weight. Find obscure stuff if you want to, but you'll give it a lot more weight, and it will stick, and it will play out for you on autopilot. You wouldn't even have to say the affirmation. It will just happen. If someone's a match to that particular program in your field, it will play out. Try it. Try it, try it, try it. Let me know what happens, because I want to know. What are you playing with? What are you tweaking? Let me know. So now you know, or you would have noticed, that by repeating affirmations, you're not actually clearing the limiting beliefs and the outdated stories that have been playing out in your life. You're not replacing any of that. You're creating a completely separate belief system that runs alongside it. So these new beliefs are going to help make your life easier, but the limiting beliefs are still there. So what do you do about this? It's not always smooth sailing when they run parallel to each other and they're in conflict. Sometimes your manifestations work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes things happen really easily, sometimes they don't. There's just no consistency. There's no way to know and pinpoint with any real sort of accuracy in what circumstances are they going to be true, which set of beliefs are going to play out for you in which set of circumstances. You just have no idea. It's a little bit like playing Russian roulette, but with your belief system. You don't know which ones apply to certain situations. you know, it's a bit of a gamble. It's a gamble in action. And to be honest, like, I never used to worry about limiting beliefs at all. And that's because I could manifest whatever I wanted to anyway. And so I just didn't bother. And some of the beliefs that I've created and affirmations that I use are so obscure that they're nowhere close to um, any limiting beliefs that I have. Like, they're just too obscure. I've avoided them being in conflict with any sort of limiting belief whatsoever because they're so obscure. So it's like a loophole that I created for myself, which you can do too. You can absolutely do that. And then, but I never used to bother with them because everything was pretty cruisy. And I was manifesting and intending my day every day. It was a huge part of my life. And I remember I was engaged to my husband, who I accidentally manifested as well when I wrote my second book. I accidentally manifested him. And I manifested my way out of banking. And I started my own business coaching and finance broker business. And, life was pretty good. I was happy, I was content, no complaints whatsoever. And then my father passed away unexpectedly. And through a series of felt like a train wreck, just this quick succession of things taking place with my sister, it felt like I'm going to be careful about how I say some things, so you might see me pausing a little bit, but it's a delicate situation because we ended up in litigation, my sister and I, over my father's estate. And I suppose, like, the short story of that is that she felt she was more entitled to her 50% share of the estate than I was. So we ended up in litigation. And I knew that there was absolutely no way in the world that I manifested this, because it was such a huge part of my life at that stage, manifestation. There's no way in the world I manifested it, and I couldn't manifest my way out of it either. And that's what really bugged me. I couldn't manifest my way out of something. For once in my life, I couldn't break through. And it just kept getting worse, this situation. There were no improvements. It was this train wreck of devastation. I went from this happy, beautiful life that I manifested for myself to one that was kind of falling apart. My business started to struggle because I was involved, with spending days with my solicitor. I didn't have time to see clients. I was in bad headspace. My dad just passed away on top of that. And it just felt like, this is a money grab. Why do I deserve this? And who does she think she is? All the stuff, all this junk that I'd been avoiding, that I kind of sidestepped and bypassed, had lined up and for me to deal with and do something about it. And I was guided to do some energy work to resolve this, to clear some limiting beliefs that I had as a way to resolve litigation with my sister. And I was so skeptical at the time. And like, I doubted that doing energy work was a valid solution for anything, let alone a legal matter, you know? What does that have to do with anything? And but for me, like, I was in like such a bad place. Like, I had nothing to lose. I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a red hot crack. If this is going to work, I'm in. And I was all in. I started working on myself, no idea what I was doing, started doing energy work on myself every day, relentlessly, clearing beliefs, clearing all these examples and stories that I had that told a different story to the one that I was living. And every day I started clearing stuff out. And at first I didn't notice any changes whatsoever, I have to admit. Absolutely nothing. But then after a month, I started to get some traction really, really quickly. And litigation with my sister was resolved within 3 months instead of 2 years that my solicitor had been um, talking about with me. So fantastic. Like, doesn't get any better than that, you know? And then everything, I kept going. I kept working on myself after that because it was so profound. And I actually felt a lot happier, like, within myself. And I was so surprised that this energy mumbo jumbo, like, it actually worked. Because that's how I used to think of it. It's just mumbo jumbo, this energy stuff. And, but that is the only thing that I have found. Like, I tried hypnosis, all this other stuff, as well as a way to clear limiting beliefs, and just didn't work for me. So I didn't bother. And then until I was in a situation where I had no choice but to clear the limiting beliefs that were affecting my reality, because I was getting garbage by leaving that stuff there. And since then, since I resolved that situation, like, I decided for myself that I'm not going to allow limiting beliefs and outdated programming to derail my life if I don't have to. I can control this. Like, I have a choice. And I've been doing this work ever since. And when I started, like, I didn't have any special abilities to do it at all. But I know, like, I'm empowered to help myself, to find solutions and initiate positive change in my life when I want it. And, like, if me as a nerdy finance broker and business coach can do this sort of work, like, you can do it too. Like, it's not it's not difficult at all. You don't need any special skill set to do it. You just need to know how to do it. And once you do, like, you can create new beliefs for whatever you want and clear all the old ones out of the way. And it's like you really give yourself this unfair advantage in a lot of ways because the struggle disappears. You know how to move obstacles from your life and get answers and solutions for yourself. And to be honest, I don't know why this isn't more widely known, why this feels like such a secret to a lot of people. Because if I had known it was this easy from the day one, like going back to 17 years ago when I was, learning about the 11 laws of attraction with Bob Proctor, if I had known about energy work as a way to clear limiting beliefs, I'm sure that things would have been a lot different. Like, for me, over that time frame, over that 17 years, a lot different, a lot different. But you don't know what you don't know, right? So you can absolutely do this too. And, like, I really see these as life skills because as adults, we have a choice. Like, we don't need to accept, like, all of the limiting beliefs that we accumulated since childhood, especially, as a 5-year-old. And I know for me, like, some of my beliefs were that my sister always, takes my toys. She takes things that don't belong to her. And that was playing out in adult life. I'm like, what is going on here? you know? So I had to get rid of some beliefs, some garbage that I created as a child that, I had evidence for at the time. It's not relevant for me now. I don't want that to play out in my adult life, when the toys are a little bigger, creates a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So, like, these are life skills that you can learn. You can choose what you still want to believe and what you don't. Create new beliefs for yourself and clear a path to anything that you want to manifest in your life. And you can absolutely do this. And so, to help you do this for yourself, like, I'm running a workshop as part of the Metaphysical Edge live stream. It's called Foundational Alchemy. And this Foundational Alchemy training, I'm going to be teaching you exactly what I did when I first started clearing beliefs for myself. So you don't need to know anything. You don't need any training whatsoever. You don't need any experience with energy work. You don't need to be attuned to Reiki. None of that. You don't need any of that. It's just you. You are the key. You are the tool. You're built to do this work, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's as simple as that, really. And I'm also, because I started doing this work because of manifestation and outcomes I wanted to see, and I specifically wanted to clear limiting beliefs that were in my way, I decided that, I created a manifestation alchemy technique to help me do that. So I didn't have this at the time when I first started, but you can still do it too. And it's one of the things I'm going to be teaching you inside the Foundational Alchemy training. It's over 2 sessions because it's so chock-a-block. I want you to be able to create massive change in your life, transform things at will, and create new experiences for yourself as well. And I'm going to give you as much support and resources as possible to help you do that. So I'm going to put the link for the Foundational Alchemy session in the description box. So click that and reserve your seat and get ready to play with some energy. And it's very hands-on training. I'm putting it together right now. Very, very hands-on. So exciting. But I will definitely see you there. Reserve your seat. Thank you for joining me on Unmasking the Magic. Today's journey has been a glimpse into the power of blending the mystical with the material world. And there is so much more to dive into so that you can explore your own metaphysical gifts to create unparalleled success and fulfillment in your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love to hear from you. And please share this with anyone you know who will benefit from adding a little magic to their own life. Keep unmasking your magic, and I'll see you next time.